You too. You too.
Put a face with a name. So,
Right.
hey, so it's 102. People will join. We'll just let them as they join. And this is going to be really informal. Of course, it's the first one since I've started. I did make a small little agenda for myself. Just welcome everybody. Thank you all for joining. And I'm learning as we go to what systems are in place already. And of course, we'll be creating some new ones along the way to make it easier for all of us to communicate and our left hands to know what our right hands are doing, so that on the front side, when it's agent facing, it's seamless. And that way you feel like you have support not only from admin sides, but also from leadership and support from the legal side, if you will, trying to keep everybody out of real estate jail. So that's kind of my job. It says none of us go to real estate jail. And it is a welcome home. Like I say, I started my career with Keller Williams in this very same office. So it is sort of a welcome back. And I was here for 2 years, almost 3, before I left and went to a team from here. So a team from here actually went across the street, and that's when I joined them a year later. So I've been broker in charge for almost 5 years for them, and it's wonderful to be back home. So I'm glad to be here. And I'll get to know, I know there's 250 to 70 of us out here. So I see some familiar faces, and I will hopefully get to know names. And don't hesitate to stop and say hey, and ask a question, introduce yourself, and I'll try to remember as best I can. Hi, Mary, it's great to see you again. So one of the, I've just had several observances since I've started that I want to hit quickly and hit the ground running with. And one of those is advertising. And someone popped in my head today, popped in my office this morning and asked, if you're doing social media and memes or reels or whatever it is, KW Central has to be somewhere. So the easiest way for that is, when I start my videos, I'm Jason, realtor with Keller Williams Central, blah, 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 blah. Here's the market minute. Here's the latest house I'm showing. Here's whatever you're going to do. And if it's a TikTok and you're dancing, then it's got to be in the comments. So somewhere in a post, in an add-on, in a meme, in a video, in a whatever, for social media, it has to say KW Central somewhere. Easiest way is hashtags. And that's the easiest way to protect yourself and ourselves, is a hashtag KW Central. That's a quick one. The commission does have a one-click rule, and that's sort of what they go with, is if I can click on that graphic or that advertising, and within one click, I know that that's Jason, realtor with Keller Williams Central, that's okay. So there is a one-click rule. However, make sure, like I say, hashtag is there. And I saw a couple of hands, and again, Carrie, I think you were first, and Jen, I'll get you next. And both of those are great questions. Carrie, did I answer that question, or did you?
So I was going to ask about the disclaimer, each office is independently owned and operated. Is that something that also needs to be included on those posts?
Not on a post. Yeah, it doesn't have to be on a post. So
just advertise, flyers. What are we talking for that?
Yeah, on like a print advertising or a sign, those kind of things, they ask for that to be on there. But the thing is, like I say, by making sure it's KW Central, it does designate you to one location, which is a win. And then, like I say, in those print and in those signs, it's every location ever independently owned and operated. Jen, yes, your question was, let me open the box. No, it's you're not on every post you make, every real estate related post. So if I say, this is what I'm eating for lunch, I don't need to tag KW Central on that, unless I'm saying, hey, I'm Jason and I'm KW Central and I'm out touring restaurants and this is the best restaurant in Alamance County, I think. And you're referencing to use that as part of your marketing, then yes, that would be KW Central. Paul, you and I need to chat about that one quickly. And yes, KW, as long as there's a KW, what I would do, Paul, in your scenario, is I would hashtag both offices, would be my answer. Always better to cover yourself. If his question was, he's in 2 offices and can he just do KW by itself? So then my recommend would be to just hashtag both. And that way no one can ever question it. Ironically, someone actually said, we're in a scenario now about a social media post where someone shared someone else's home and it wasn't our listing necessarily. And we needed to tag that this is not our listing. This is XYZ listings with whatever company. And we're with KW Central. So yes, Tara.
I had a question with one social media post that's been going around like fire. And my teacher mentioned it under someone else's post. It's talking about then and now. It has the price of a home. It has the percentage of what the rate is. It has the payment. And he mentioned that this is against the Truth in Lending Act. And we shouldn't be sharing things like that.
That would be under TILA. I would have to see the ad itself.
Okay. I can send it to you. It's just my
Yeah.
old teacher. He said that could get fines with sharing things like that with all
Yeah,
that, the
TILA.
numbers of that.
Yeah, it would have to be, I guess, that there's actually an example of that being true at that time of then versus now.
Okay.
But yeah, shoot it to me and I'll
Okay.
dig into it. So
Okay.
hey, PBs, there's not a ton of us on there. PBs, if you are going to do advertising, anything, definitely run it by me. But because if you advertise something, if you're under my license, and both of us are liable for any of that. So definitely, if you're going to advertise something. And Marla, thank you for reaching out with yours. I appreciate that. And we made a couple of slight changes, which were perfectly fine, and I approved it fairly quickly. So still use the BIC hotline. So if you've got quick questions or general stuff, call that BIC hotline number. And of course, we rotate that around and between the 5 folks that are designated to handle that. And they will always give you advice on the situation. Sometimes they'll do a trainer timeout and say, hey, stop, let's bubble this to Jason, which is perfectly fine. That's what it's there for. So just continue using that if you would. Also, the broker in charge 832@gmail, that's still a good account. I am getting those. As I look into it, there are some prior emails historically, so I might reach out and say, hey, where are we with this? What's the follow-up on that? That kind of thing. So as we dig into that email, it's definitely me I'm not probing for any reason other than making sure I can close something out. Words matter. We talked about that. I posted it in the Facebook group, and a couple of things quickly. NAR, they voted this week. The board of directors were in Orlando for a conference, and they voted in the code of ethics to change the word handicapped. And if you were in real estate school, Marla, we just talked about this last week, fresh corn, we're going to mess up fresh corn because the H was for handicap. That is now going to be disability or disabled. So that, and my recommend is for all of us to just take that out of our vocabulary and use the word disabled, disability instead of handicap. Some view that as a derogatory term. And, I understand some people say, oh, well, that, why would that be a problem? Or why would that be an issue? It doesn't matter one way or the other how I feel about it or you feel about it. If that person is offended by that, and then that's what we go with. It's not our personal belief in any kind of way or form. It's how that person interprets it and how they feel. So I would suggest just making sure that you just kind of change your vocabulary out and make it easy for you. I even did it to myself last night. I corrected myself, and it takes like 42 times to stop a habit. So if you if you find yourself saying that, just stop yourself. The other thing, we practice real estate, and that is what we practice. We're not general contractors, we're not plumbers, we're not roofers, we're not attorneys. We can only fill in the blanks on contracts. We can't write an agreement. We can't any of those things. So make sure that under this words matter header I'm talking about, that, hey, if you get an inspection and the inspector says, hey, water under the sink, I think there might be a leak, check with a professional licensed plumber, blah, blah, blah. That's not our place to say, oh, looks like it's fixed, blah, blah, blah. I wouldn't, don't worry about that one. We're not plumbers. We can't say that it's fixed. We would have to have something to fall back on to say that it is. And if we do get in that scenario, your clients are trusting that you're knowledgeable and that you're practicing what you say is sort of gospel, if you will, a Southern term. So they may not check something out because you said, oh, that's not as important as X, and it could be an issue down the road. So just be really careful. And like I say, under that words matter header I'm speaking to, is that we don't say something out of turn. Scenario, due diligence repair requests. We've not seen those in a while, right? It's been 2 or 3 years since anybody would give a nickel back for any repairs or after an inspection. People waiving inspections, those things have happened over the last 2 years. We are seeing price drops, incredible, $5,000 and $10,000 based on traffic. And in those DDRRs, making sure that the client is the one deciding what is repaired and what's not, what is asked for and what's not. We can make recommendations. In my experience, blah, 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 blah. As a realtor, I have seen this in the past, blah, 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 blah. It's not that you tell them what to do. You always just set up the scenario and let them decide. That way, you're not on the hook for saying there's not a leak under the sink, or the seller said there was a plumber out last week. We want to see a receipt from a plumber that was out last week for that fixed that sink. Does that make sense? Are we all good? Thumbs up, something. Okay, cool. Boop, boop, boop. Keeping records. Speaking to that, making sure that we keep records of not only what you're uploading in Command, or even having a paper file in a folder with an address that we're keeping for how many years? Do we know how many years we keep folders on a transaction? Right, 3. So you have to have 3 years worth of transactions at any given moment for the commission. So if something were to come back and them to ask. So what you want to do is have, like myself, I'm a practicing realtor. So I have a digital file on my laptop. What if my laptop gets stolen? It's gone unless it's in a cloud, right? So I have a hard copy often, I have a digital copy, and then we'll have a copy of what you upload into Command into the cloud. So definitely keeping records of text messages between agents back and forth. There are examples where the commission asked a question about, did you say X to the seller's agent? Did you say X to the buyer's agent? Where's that communication? And we're having to screenshot and print and provide that documentation. So if we don't have records of those conversations, we don't have, it's only us saying that, yes, I did say this. And if there's conflict in between that, if I say I said your receipt was, we fixed the sink and here's the receipt in a text message, but then if my phone deletes text messages after 20 days, that's a problem. That's a setting in your phone. So if we have more than 20 conversations, you don't have it anymore. So making sure when you have those, especially in a digital age where we're doing a lot of texting and we're doing all kinds of things, communicating, written correspondence, email and whatnot, that you keep record of those, because the commission will ask, where's the email that you sent X to that agent? Where's the email where you shared X with your client? So making sure you have records. So I even recommend there are some services out there that you can, after your transaction in your email, say, pull all this into one file and it will do it for you. And all your email correspondence then becomes a document. And that's all in one place. And on Google, it is called, labeled Folio. So Google has one that's in your email if you want to use it, Folio. You can, it's free for up to 3 transactions, I believe. If you do more than that, it there's a subscription. If you're an agent that's, you know, hitting 2 to 3 a month, one come in and one go in, that's a good service that you could use for free. Anybody have questions on record keeping? I feel like y'all are quiet. Sunshine raffle tickets, the Sunshine Fund, of course, that is, Carrie, you want to talk about it? I'll let you do that. That's fine. I'll take a moment.
Sunshine Fun raffle, guys, ends tomorrow. We hope everybody's taken advantage of participating. Keep in mind Sunshine Fun, and as a recipient, just this past week, I can't tell you how much I appreciate the fact that, you know, KW reaches out, just shares, you know, a card, and just knowing that people are thinking of our family, praying for our family, just really means a lot, especially when, you know, that's about all we can think about is the fact that, you know, our loved one, or even, you know, Margaret, you know, who's been around real estate for so many years. It's just really nice to know that people have our back, basically, and it's just very much appreciated. And we can't do what we do by letting people know that we're there for them without that fund, to you know, share flowers and do whatever else that may be needed when something happens in someone's family. So I hope that you guys will donate. Tickets are $25 for 1 ticket or $100 for 5 tickets. Again, tomorrow's the last day, and Tuesday we will be doing the drawing. We have a week-long vacation at the beach, a night out at 584 with a night stay at the Best Western, and then we have a massage for our 3rd prize, and those have all been donated. We had obviously Heather McAndrew donated the beach house. Matthew Young with Geico did our 2nd prize, and Chris McCann at Burlington Reynolds did our 3rd prize massage. So I hope everybody will participate. Give me a call, 336-516-4357. I'd love to take your order, sell you a ticket, and maybe you will win. All right. Anybody have any questions?
Hey, so I would add to that, the Sunshine Fund, even if you're not participating in the raffle, it might be something that you want to do. You know, you can do that as part of a transaction and do it year round, or give someone a small percent or anything else. That's your choice. The raffle's an awesome thing. It's great to have an opportunity to win something back when you give back. But again, giving is something you can do anytime. So
If I may add to that, I mean,
yeah,
and that's what we do. We just tack it onto our transactions, $25 a transaction, never see it, never, we don't miss it. So, you know, just another thought, if you are interested in signing up that way, we can certainly get you set up that way as well.
perfect. RPAC is closing out for the year for Burlington, Alamance County, BayCar. They ask for a minimum donation if you so choose for that. RPAC is why we got to keep working during COVID. So that was one of the best examples of RPAC in action for us. Another great example is insurance plans that they've lobbied for years to get the 55,000 realtors as a group to be able to get insurance as an entity because we're 1099s and not employees. So that's just two huge examples of RPAC in action. And it's, I mean, they asked for $20, which is like lunch and coffee, right? So if you're so moved to give that, contact the BayCar office. I would ask that next year coming up, if you feel like you want to give and monetary is not something you can do, definitely join a committee, whether it's here in the office at one of our committees, the social committee or the tech committee or any of the committees that are offered under the ALC with those groups, are on a bigger level. Join a committee over at BayCar. I just ran the DEI committee for 2 years, and we're getting we've done all kinds of things. We had a breakfast. We've done seminars. We've done a lunch and learn. We're getting ready to do another one. We're going to do a safety class in December. So we can't do those things without folks helping us. So join a committee, and if you can't give monetarily, give your time. And those of you that aren't RPAC focused or this focused, that's fine. Just give us your $20. And those of us that are focused, let us use your $20 in action. So I think there's a toy collection I saw in the office. Is that correct? They're collecting toys for Toys for Tots or Toys for something for the holiday. I saw a flyer. So if you've got new unused toys, that's collected. And I also know that there's they're doing a toy collection at the December luncheon over at 584. With that, there are nominations for Realtor of the Year. You as a member have a right to nominate someone for Realtor of the Year. And Christy May has a scan code that you can scan if you want to do that. And it can be anonymous. You don't have to say, Sally's nominating Susie. You can just scan that barcode. And as we get more digital, there's going to be more things like that. So I'm going to open it up to you all. What do you have questions about? Y'all don't know me. And you all have been fantastic. I've had some awesome questions this week that have sparked my brain. A couple of them I went and looked up in the commission rule book to make sure I gave you the right answer. And on that note, my promise to you is that I will get you an answer. I will follow up. I will. I can't do what I do without all of you. So, and I'm a resource for you. That's why I'm here. I did put my phone and my direct email in the chat. For now, that's my marketing email until KW kind of they dig me up out of the grave from 5 years ago and get my old email back up and running. This one is straight to me and I check it regularly. So if you have a urgent burning something that can't just, the cliff is coming off, this is the best way. And, and as far as hours go, if you've got something burning or question or something like that, I will respond as quickly. And like someone was texting me last night about something and I was available and I was glad to answer. So I do spend time with my family in the evenings and weekends, but not that I can't shoot you a quick text if you ask me a question. So Anybody have anything? All right, well, I think that is it for this week. The next, glad you asked, would fall right after Thanksgiving. Is that right, Tara?
I'm pretty sure. And I didn't know if we wanted to do that because it was right after Thanksgiving. Well, the 24th. So yeah, we should be fine for the next week.
Okay. Yeah, that'll
Yeah,
be good.
because
The
this
week
week will
after.
be Thanksgiving coming up. I can't believe that. But then the next glad you asked would be the following one. So
Perfect.
yep.
Well, good. I think that is all I have. So unless if you all have something, I'm going to give your afternoon back to you.
I just
And
want to say thank you to everybody for replying to all my emails and phone calls about updating our spreadsheet. It was definitely done as a family, and I really want to thank everybody that replied to me so quickly.
oh, that's a good bucket fill. We appreciate it.
Hmm.
All right. Well, I'm here if you need me. I'm in the same office. I've not moved, and you've got my phone and email, and I appreciate you all. Thanks. Have a good one.